I knew alcohol was a significant issue, and Jen had come to me and said, "It's me or the job."
Yeah.
When I was an oil broker, and so I went and I said, "Bye." No, I didn't. I didn't do that. So I went to my boss and said, "Look, I gotta quit." And he was like, "Well, don't quit. Have 6 months sabbatical and go and sort your marriage out." And so I looked. I was like, "Wow." I went back to Jen, full pay sabbatical. Hello. And she was like, "Well, I've always wanted to work in South Africa," because she was a model, as you well know. So she's great like there. And I was like, "Okay, so the roles are going to be reversed. You're going to work. I'm not. We're going to be in South Africa. I'm on full pay." Yes, let's do it. So we head down there. Now, had I met you before?
Yeah, we'd met.
We met
in London a few times. So that was 2010. I moved there. You moved there. That's the summer of 2011, I think.
Yeah.
So during the winter, the UK winter.
That's
of
right. The
2011.
winter. 2011.
I'd been there a year, and yeah, I mean, I ended up there because I'd sold a business, and I ended up down in because I was single at the time. Well, I was single, and then I met a Cape Townian, weirdly, and then we ended up going together. But that was completely independent. I went down for 6 months and ended up staying best part of 5 years.
It's an amazing place, Cape Town. It's an amazing place.
It's a great place to spend money, not make money. I mean, no one wants to work in Cape Town. You want to hit the beach and look at pretty people.
Yes.
But yeah, what a wonderful vibe. I loved it. I think it saved me. I mean, I was drinking a lot when I was down there, and I was in a relationship with a lovely woman, but we weren't right for each other, and then we broke up fairly quickly after coming back. After 6 months, we came back to the UK, and they broke up and then tried to get back together, and you know, Gabs, and I was drinking quite a lot then, and then drinking the misery.
Yeah,
that became a problem, and then drinking and driving, and that was a dumbass thing to do. So I've never done that in the UK, but in South Africa,
it was normalised.
It's a bit more of a kind of an okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not okay, but people do it.
Yeah. There you go.
There was
just silly.
All that crap.
The silly stuff that you do.
Yeah, exactly.
The risks that you take.
But we got down to South Africa, and I think we were therapy for each other.
Yeah.
You were certainly therapy for me. It was really good conversations and things like that. I mean, obviously, I was at a pretty pinnacle moment or change in my life anyway, or trying to. Your way of thinking was just very different. So your way of solving a problem is very thing. So this is why the reason why I'm bringing this up now is that you think it's normal for you to look at a pint of Guinness and go, "Oh, actually, that's my last one." That is not normal, and your thinking is not normal. But it's because you have quite a unique process of thinking, and I dare say this is why you've been so successful in business and now very successful as a VC, is because of that way of thinking. Have you thought about that, of your way of thinking being different, and do you know where it comes from?
I don't know that you can analyze yourself in that way. I don't know, because I only know how I process.
How I think.
Other people tell me I'm an idiot, or I have a unique way of looking at the world. But doesn't everybody have a unique way of looking at the world?
Yeah.
I mean, yours is you have a particularly unique viewpoint, and I think anybody. I mean, the way that I see it is that people that change the world don't think like everybody else by nature, because otherwise, what are you changing?
Yeah.
How are you changing? So, and it takes people to do something different. I mean, look at all these. Look at the Elon Musks, or back in the day, Richard Branson, or the Jeff Bezos. They sat down at one point and go, "No, I'm going to build rockets, or I'm going to build a solar panel company, or a car company, or an open AI company, or whatever it is."
Yeah.
But that started with I can do this better, or I can think differently, or I can change the world in a different way, like you are with OYNB. It's like, no. There's a way to accelerate that. I want to change my relationship with booze or whatever substance and accelerate that timeline. And that's why you're doing what you do. It's like, there's a smarter way of doing this. So I don't know I can analyze it in that way. But I'm constantly reflected that I feel quite lonely sometimes, because I'm constantly reflected that I don't think like other people, or I don't fit in a box. But then that's okay.
Yeah. The loneliness is such a key word, because lonely is one of the major drivers of a compulsive behavior.
Yeah.
Stress and loneliness, very key. But interestingly, from what we're seeing these days, is often the loneliness is not really the loneliness of today. the loneliness that we feel is an association with the loneliness we felt when we were a child.
But don't you think it's exaggerated by modern society and social
all the
media
disconnection and everything
culture?
else? Completely.
Because we think we're connected
but
with
we're
our
tapping into
smartphones, and we're just not.
But we're tapping into the feelings of what we felt back then, and actually half of the battle is to actually appease the feelings of the little boy.
Yeah.
We're getting deep into it, but we always were. So talking about your relationship with alcohol and this process, because obviously it was quite prevalent. You were in Cape Town for a while. You felt like you were using it a bit too much, in your own words. What do you think the process of change looked like for you? Because it finished at the point of the Guinness, but what was the process?
Yeah, I mean, I feel stupid because it was such a long period of time between going, I've got to...
Just wouldn't listen to me.
I wouldn't. I've got to change my relationship with this thing. But also, I mean, alcohol's good fun. And I think it's worth remembering that we might want to change something, but for as long as we're having fun and we're having sex, or we're being social, or we're being able to connect, for as long as we've got this other positive side of whatever the substance is, and alcohol is weirdly so socially acceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think will change, but that's a topic for a different time. I think I when I was young, my dad died when I was 11, and he had a massive problem with booze. He was always in the pub. I mean, he was my mum raised me on her own, so I would see him on random Sundays when he could be fucked to turn up. And all we did was go to the pub. All I remember is going to the pub. And I didn't mind at the time because I was hanging out with my dad. I mean, if it meant I was going to the pub. But I do remember being kind of put outside in the garden with a bottle of Pepsi and a straw and a bag of dry roasted peanuts. And he was in getting shit-faced, and I'm excommunicated outside. And that hurts. And and I remember... like seeing him, but not really seeing him. But spending time with him, but not really spending time with him. And then my mum was an alcoholic and drug dependent for a long time, mainly prescription drugs and some illegal, but mainly prescription drugs. Put her in the Priory twice and had to try. So I've seen, point of me sharing this, I've seen alcohol and drug and substance abuse and kind of this kind of blinkered, like, when you're doing these things, you don't think about family, you don't think about, the effect that you're having on people.